Welcome to Beyond Survival, a podcast for teacher leaders and school leaders that provides you with tips and tools to navigate change. I'm Anna Surratt, Coordinator of Professional Learning in the Office of Professional Growth and Innovation.
And I'm Shelley Labiosa, Professional Learning Specialist at PGI.
In the first part of episode 2, we began by looking at one of 4 key features of permanent whitewater, rocks. Today we'll be looking at 3 more key features, eddies, eddy lines, and the downstream V, each of which present unique challenges that are very similar to those that we face as leaders. And while each can be potentially dangerous, knowing how to read the waters will be a valuable skill for not only rafters, but also leaders.
Eddies, like rocks, are another common feature found in whitewater, though maybe not as obvious. Eddies are caused when the water is rushing around an obstacle and it is actually flowing in 2 directions at the same time. Recognizing these eddies is important because while rushing and riding the rapids is very exhilarating, if you push and push and push through the rapids without a rest, you're going to get cramped muscles, and that adrenaline rush is eventually going to leave you completely exhausted and you're going to lose momentum. That becomes dangerous. As leaders, it is really important that we find our eddies and we make the most of them. You may actually have to seek out opportunities to give yourself this rest. And while you're there, while you're in your eddy, you can do one of 3 things. Engage in some physical activity, stretch, unclench those tense muscles. You could connect with your team, family, friends, colleagues who lift you up and make you feel safe, make you laugh. And you could even just simply sit still and rest. As leaders, it's really important for us to find our eddies, those times and places throughout our day, our week, our month, our school year, where we can intentionally pause to recharge, re-energize, and refocus. A third river feature that we're going to talk about are the eddy lines. Now, the eddy lines are those areas around an eddy where the upstream and the downstream currents meet and create an unstable water line, which is really tricky to get across, especially in fast-moving water. Paying close attention to the way the water is moving will help you identify those eddy lines, but it takes some skill to get across them safely. The best method is to go directly and quickly through them. What are you facing right now in your leadership that may require quick action and direct, clear communication?
The 4th important feature of whitewater is the downstream V. Now, this one offers less of a challenge and more of an opportunity if identified correctly. You see, the downstream V is actually formed by 2 features that we've already explored, rocks. But unlike rocks, which we can see from the raft, the downstream V requires that we get out of the boat and seek a broader perspective from either the shore or up high. While it might seem like it takes a longer time to do this, we actually end up saving time because we now have a smooth and straightforward path through the rapids. Many of us are trying to find that smooth shot between obstacles to save time and energy. So what aspects of your work require you to take a high-level view of the currents forming among your staff, your students, and your families? As leaders, we can see how important it is that we know how to read the waters, identify the patterns that are emerging from the waters, and then select the next best step to take. We need to know, when is it best to just stay in the boat and keep paddling? When do we need to pause to rest and recharge? And then when do we need to get out of the boat to get a broader view? Join us next time for episode 3, where we will discuss a framework to help us navigate the knowns and unknowns of leadership in permanent whitewater.